Hello viewers, welcome once again to Cricket Chat YouTube channel. And today we just want to discuss, to give a preview of NPCA Super League matches that are going to happen this weekend. And also we are going just to discuss in few minutes our national team that is in Uganda, where they're going to play a series of matches against the host Uganda and Nigeria. And just to start, in the NPCA Super League, we've got Swami Bapa playing Canbis, Stray Lions are hosting Simba, Saali are playing Ruaraka, Kachileva are playing Nairobi Gymkhana, and Bhudia Academy are playing Ngara. Looking at these matches and considering that a number of teams are going to miss most of their players because of the national team duty in Uganda, we are likely to see teams are going to be affected with the absence of their players. And Beryl, just to start, without singling out teams, what are we likely to see this Sunday? Because if you look at a club like Swami Bapa has lost 3 of its main players. Stray Lions have lost 2 players. Saali, they have lost 3 players. Nairobi Gymkhana have lost 2 players. Bhudia have 1 player missing. Ngara has 1 player missing. So what are we likely to see this weekend?
It's an exciting weekend. I'm very happy to see some of the players who have been doing well in the Division 1 and Division 2 sides get an opportunity to perform in the Super League. The guys who suffer mostly are the guys who don't have quite proper development system. But matches in the B side have been, in the Division 1, have been very competitive. And you'll find that a club like Canbis won't have to suffer. When they played Nairobi Cricket Academy, they had 2 new players. Mepani and Kabaria went to play for their B side that weekend. So it will be easy for them to replace the players. Probably they'll still get Jine Hirani and Kavya Pindoria to come and replace Emmanuel Bundi and Nelson Odhiambo. Ruaraka is the one club that will be mostly unaffected because they're only missing Elijah Asoyo. But even so, they're in a good place because when there are 2 Ugandans left, they beefed up with 2 more pros, so they'll be okay. Saali should be fine, even though they're missing Zahid, their skipper Gurdeep and Eugene. I think they're going to spring a surprise on us. Which other clubs? Stray Lions also have a very good feeder system. They should get someone from one of their 2 B-side squads to come and beef up the space left by Shem, Alex. But they're going to suffer a little bit because, like we saw last weekend, Alex has started getting some form going on. So it will have to be really big for them to fill his spot. Shem is the leading wicket taker. They really need to scratch their heads a little bit there to fill those spaces that have been left by their national team members. Bhudia Academy haven't been doing so well, even though they won against Kachileva last weekend, missing David and Steve Omogo, who have been 2 of their, let's say, 4 top batsmen. They have some kids to fill in their spaces, but I'm not sure they're going to be enough to fill those shoes at the top. For Sikh Union, should also be fine. They're only missing Muhammad Kalyan because Sukdeep didn't go because of exam commitments. They also have their pros, and we saw the way they played last weekend against Gymkhana. Their 3 pros have been very lucky. I think they're the only pros who've performed in their first matches, them and Swami Bapas. So we are really hoping to see something there from Sikh Union. They won their first match. They're on a high, and I expect them to still do so well. For which one haven't I mentioned? Kachileva are unaffected. None of their players were selected. But Ngara will be missing only Vraj because Tanzil didn't travel. But Ngara's problem has mainly been their batting order. So for them, they're so and so intact. Done. Dan has disappeared. Okay, Brad, he started with Swami Bapa versus Canbis. What do you expect to see this weekend?
Swami Bapa versus Canbis is going to be a good game, as we've always seen for the past few seasons. Wherever there is Swami Bapa and Canbis playing, you've always seen crowd in the grounds. You've always seen spectators coming in to support each and every of their players. However, Swami Bapa for now have just been unsettled. Their players who've come from abroad have not kicked in. I think they still need to be pitched in. You see what happens with this pandemic that we have. The players that have come in have still not got used to with the atmosphere, and that is what is bringing issues for Swami Bapa. Generally for Swami Bapa, what I've seen is they do have players, unfortunately, due to personal reasons, in that they're not getting a consistent team around this league. If you look at the team list for the past few games that they've played, they have so many changes up and down, and that is affecting the gameplay, because you have planned something and on the day it doesn't work out, but you don't have a second person to support that planning.
Yeah.
For Canbis, them missing Bundi and Nelson, I don't think is going to affect them quite a lot, because Canbis is more dominant in their batting compared to their bowling. Canbis can let you score 350, and the batting capacity is there to chase that 350. So with Canbis, I believe they have new players coming in. The kids are doing very well. The youngsters are doing well for them. Hopefully, what we've known is that Canbis can do anything at that moment. If you look at the game that they always play, it's always a very planned game. The planning in terms of betting is brilliant. So I believe Swami Bapa, the players that have come in and they get a consistent team throughout this season, they can give us a good show on Sunday.
Swami Bapa began the league missing 5 of their players. Those 5 players have played for the national team who are still active, except Lamek. And like you've said, their issue has really been their batting, because even last weekend they scored 341, their highest total of the season. But if you look at the top, Rushabh didn't score, Morris didn't score, Jignesh didn't score. There are 2 pros. If Duanil and Rakesh didn't score, they would have been staring at another loss. So now this weekend they don't have Rushabh. Do you think they don't have Rushabh at the top? Do you think the true pros are enough to give them a win over Canbis? Dan? Raj, you can continue.
Looking at missing your opening batsmen who've always opened for you and who's created the pathway for your low order batsmen to come and continue. Missing of Rushabh for Swami Bapa is going to be critical, because you cannot depend on the pro. What happens if you have a pro and he's there in the opening? He goes there within the first 5 overs, one is down. Everything is all dependent on the other pro that is left.
Yes.
So they need that supporting locals who will open the game, who will be there in the pitch, and can use up the ball so that it can help the pros when they're coming in. Generally, normally we have professionals coming in from India. Yes. Professionals who come in from India are normally playing on a flat surface. Flat surfaces that do not have swing, that it's only on spinners. And if you can see, professionals that we all have are very good players of spinners. So if you try and say that let's put a professional into batting opening with the ball moving in Kenya, yes, and do the balls move in Kenya because of the winds that we have. So the first 12 to 15 overs are very critical. Anyone who takes down 2 or 3 wickets are on uphand.
Neymar and Koech are in Uganda. They haven't been getting much patches with the ball, but still, will they be affected? Because those are their two main pace bowlers already with a depleted squad.
Yes, for sure, they will be affected because the reason being is now that the opponent's team will be having professionals, or we have professional players who've not gone to Uganda,
yeah,
do know how to play each and every aspect of the cricket game. For you bringing in just a new bowler from your lower division and asking him to do what the Super League needs is much difficult. So what I can say is maybe the guys who are coming in place of Nemaya and Peter Koech, they just need to be focused, and maybe things can move the other way around for them.
All right. Next, we have Stray Lions hosting Sikh Union. We've seen the Peponis track has mostly favored spinners. Sikh Union have their two pros who really fired last weekend and helped them to win against Gymkhana. Are they two or three? I'm not sure. I'll confirm. Sikh Union have only won one. And you can say that even the one match that they won, it's the pros who helped them win. Australians are at the top of the table. They're back at the top after beating Candice last weekend. Do you think the pros are enough to give Sikh Union another win?
I believe so, that the pros are very enough to give a win for Sikh Union, the second win for them. Reason being is if you look at Stray Lions and if you look at the scorecards, the guys who've performed are the guys who've left and have gone to do the national duties. So you are leaving everything else to a new team. Let's just say it's like a new team. If you don't have Alex and you don't have Shane, and those are the top two guys who are on the table right now in terms of batting and bowling, respectively.
Yeah,
I believe that with the way Sikh Union have come up for the last 2 or 3 games, there's a game that they played against Kachileva. They came up very well as well. Their last win. So this winning and a closer game from Kachileva has already boosted their morals very high. And then having 3 professionals, I believe there are 3, and the professionals doing the job. You see, at times it's not that the professional is the one who's doing the job, but it's the guidance of the profession that brings the victory to the team. So you having a professional in your team doesn't mean that he has to perform, but it means that he has to guide the whole team in terms of performing.
Sikh Union's batting has mostly relied on Sukhdeep and Kalyan. Now that Kalyan is away, do you think Sukhdeep can guide the team? Because the pros can get honours, but do you think Sukhdeep himself and the pros can guide the team to a victory, or it's now at par because Stray Lions don't have the guys who've been performing?
I think it's going to be now an even-based performance from both the teams, because all will be tested. As for Kalyan and Sukhdeep, those are the only guys that were giving partnerships for Sikh Union before the pros came in. So there's someone who needs to take the foot and put down on Kalyan and say that if Kalyan is not there, I have to be his part for the team. And for Stray Lions, it's the same thing, because for them not having Alex and not having Shen, they need to have people taking in their shoes and performing the way Alex and Shen have been performing.
If you look at the Stray Lions side, since Alex came back, at least he's getting stats. Last week, he got his half century. Praveen hasn't really gotten much the last couple of matches. Nitin Arvind is the one who's suffering the most in that squad. He's really not getting anywhere. Even the wicketkeeper, the Zimbabwean wicketkeeper, is trying, but he's still not performing to the level that they would be expecting him to. And for that reason, Sikh Union's bowling has actually been really good. Their bowlers have been very consistent. You find that their regular bowlers are getting 2-3 wickets in every match. Are they going to give Stray Lions batters trouble? considering the way the Peponi wicket has been playing?
I believe for Australia, for Simba Union, they have the bowlers that are on a higher notch for now, and they've been very brilliant.
Yes.
Be it the pace bowlers or be it the spinners, they've taken their lines and lengths very well, and they've given hard times to everyone. So for someone that has not been performing and he's not in a good knock, he has to fear that. The main thing is that if they keep their time in the pitch, maybe to understand how the wicket is playing, and they can do away with it, and they can overcome the spinning and the bowling partnerships that Sikun are already bringing in their games.
Okay, Dan.
Talking about Australia on batting order. Australia's captain Hiren Varaya has really shown his trust on Nitin. I remember I've questioned him about around 2-3 times on why they have been fielding him. And since Hiren came and took over, you realize that when the league started, Nitin was the captain, standing captain for the club.
Yes.
But since Hiren came back from when he was playing for the team in Mombasa, T20.
Yes.
I think he lost it. He's not managed to get those runs. He was coming in at number. I remember first match he opened, he was dropped. He came in at 3. Now he's even coming as low as 7, but it's not working for him. So with the Alex and Shem not being around, and then you've got somebody like Nitin who is struggling in your team, I think they're putting pressure on the team's batting. And that's why people like the wicket keeper, Gary Chirumuta, should now come in and get big score. He's been having some good stats, but he has not scored a good score that club will feel actually you've won the match for us. And same goes to Babu Katukala. Krishna. Krishna has he's having a good season. He's actually anchoring Australia's batting. He could stay there for 10, 15, even 30 overs. But again, what the club will need from him tomorrow is for him now to transform those 30s, 40s into big score. Last week, he started off well. He got his 50. He got out. And then somebody else that he might be unsung hero from, he might go as unsung hero for the club is Charith Jayampati. The guy comes in at number 9, stays there, get those boundaries, get the 2s, and then brings the game back to Australia. So even despite the absence of Alex and Shem, I think Australians have a squad that can do the work. And let's not forget that their B team don't have a match this weekend. So we won't be shocked if you get people like Kamande, people like Jay Mehta getting a chance to come back and beef up their team.
Do you think it's time Mwendwa batted at the top? Actually, Stray have their B-side has a match. There's a match that was cancelled because of COVID protocols. Anadil postponed their matches by 2 weeks. So Australia Leopards will slot in the match that was supposed to be played by Anadil. So Leopards will be playing against the Unicorns in place of the match.
No, but finally, Australians B don't have a match. B.
Oh, B, yeah. Okay, yeah, true.
Okay, about you asking about Mwendwa.
Yes.
I think it's his first season. He has a responsibility as a bowler and he is doing it very well.
Yeah.
Last week, he came in at number 10. Mm-hmm. He did a very wonderful job. I think to me, it's too early for him to be promoted up. The only thing that they can do is probably just promote him 1 number up. If he came in at 10, give him 9 and make sure that he doesn't change his game. Let him just play to finish overs. If you can now start putting pressure on him that you need to score boundaries, you need to do this, it will be pressure on him, and then the club might end up not helping him, and even the club might not end up performing the way they'll want to perform. So to me, let him just play where he played, and he's going to build confidence slowly by slowly. Maybe this one might be pushed by the performance of what Pushpak has been doing in Canbis, whereby he came from number 10 or number 9 all the way to opening. That's a different player. But for Mwendoa, let's see what he can do at number 9, number 10, and then probably in the second leg he can be promoted, and with that he can end up being an useful all-rounder for the club. Okay.
Staying with you, Dan, Sir Ali versus Ruaraka is next. Sir Ali will be hosting Ruaraka. Sir Ali will be missing Gurdeep and Eugene. In the last 3 matches, Eugene has been the one to score the runs that have changed the match for Sir Ali. He had a half century last week. The other week, he got 36, the other one 33. And now he will not be at the bottom. If you look at that middle to lower card for Sir Ali, no one is really getting the runs. Tarandip got 33 in the other match, didn't get anything in the next one. Tony got his 30 in one, I think 30 in another, but besides that, he hasn't been doing much. His uncle, Joseph, is really struggling for runs as well. Do you think Ruaraka are going to give Sir Ali a run for their money?
Definitely, yes. Sir Ali is a team that I'll say it relies on individual performance. And this is Gurdeep. If Gurdeep has a good start, it will anchor in well for the team. And then we also have their Sim opening bowler. If he does well, he's going to carry the team. But as you said, the concern of Sir Ali is the middle order batting. Joseph and Tony, as far as I'm concerned, they have had too many matches to prove, but they're still not getting it right. And that's a disadvantage to them, because Sir Ali being the Sir Ali that it is at the moment, they want to win. And if these guys are not going to perform, I think this is tomorrow might be their last chance to prove that actually they're in the team to perform and to deliver something. Simply because the role that Eugene has been playing, you come in, bowl your 8-7 overs, get 2-3 wickets, come in and bat, stay on the wicket, score 30, score 33, 35, the team gets back into the game. So with him being away, Gurdeep being away, and then there's Zahir, Abbas, he's not also around. So this has really weakened their batting order, and it's a time that these two guys, Tony and Joseph, to step up and show that we are in this team to perform. And let's not forget that they also have Sandeep Adole. Sandeep has done very well. Maybe one match that he didn't get those runs, but remember against Australia Lions, he single-handedly won that match for them. Apart from the performance that they've adding to the performance that the opening bowler had, but Sandeep has done very well with the bat. Ruaraka have only lost, as you said before, they have lost Elijah. Lost Elijah, who has only played 2 matches for them since coming. He has only played 3 or 4 matches.
4 total.
He has only played 4 matches. 4 matches.
4 matches, 5 wickets.
4 matches, 5 wickets.
Yes.
Is this somebody that the team is going to miss? Of course, no. They lost their Uganda. They lost their Ugandan players, Waiswa and Masaba. They went back to Uganda, but after that, they got a match they played. They performed well, and they won. And sources are that they have added 2 professionals from into their team, on top of Arinaitwe, who remain behind. So it's going to be a tough match for Sir Ali because of missing out 3 players who have been performing. But for Ruaraka, having won last weekend and the way things have been going for them this season, and they're going to really take on the match strongly. And to me, I think it's the match for them to lose. They have what it takes to win.
Raj, Sir Ali since you played with them that first match, every other match after that, they've changed their combinations at the top and in the middle. Aside from the individual performances that Dan is talking about, none of that has worked. Their seamers are very good. Abdul Rahman has been getting the wickets, even though the runs dried out for him. Irfan Elai has been really good with the ball. Tarandeep Singh has been lagging behind, but his bowling economy isn't so bad either. But then now they have Ruaraka, they had Arinaitwe and Pushkar Sharma, who's now scored 2 centuries in the league. And then they added 2 more pros last weekend. One of those pros also got a half century. What can Sir Ali do to combat Ruaraka? I know they may spring a surprise on us with someone who we haven't seen yet, if all goes well for them. But what do you think they can do to come out of this match alive? Unmute, Raj.
Sorry, I believe that Sir Ali needs to stick into the game, meaning that the way Sir Ali have lost their 3 players now that have gone for the national duty, so they need someone to be there for the 50 overs. You believe that Sir Ali's bowling has been very well, it's been on the mark, but the way that Ruaraka have been playing, they've got, like, they have everyone who in the team is a batsman. You can take the number 11, push him to number 5, he will perform the way he needs to perform. So for Ruaraka, they have got each and every player in their team have their roles, and they've been doing them very well. If you even look at the game against Candies, Ruaraka would have not made that game, but their number 8 and number 9 are the ones who took the game away from Candies, meaning that they have batsmen all the way down their order, and they're not going to lack anyone. So what is going to happen for Sir Ali is, even if their bowling attack has been good, it doesn't only need to be good, but it needs to be the best. That is taking wickets. You cannot have Irfan Ali just bowling 10 overs, giving 30 runs, and just getting 2 wickets, while you have the other 40 overs that are left out, and you don't know who's going to bowl for them. And they do not have someone who is supporting Irfan Ali in terms of the bowling unit. For Ruaraka, they have been very well. If you look at like the 2 pros that they've got after the Ugandans left, and Pushkar Sharma has just been someone different this season. Pushkar Sharma, if you even look at his cricketing shots, they've kindly changed quite a lot. It's like this pandemic is the only thing that has helped Pushkar Sharma, regardless of bringing the others down. Pushkar Sharma, his batting, when he played against Kachileva, when he played last game, he's scoring 100. He scored those 100 without even giving a single chance. He's not played any shot that is risky. He's played it very smoothly. He's known the field very well. He's playing with the field. So for Sir Ali, they need to be there for the game for the full 50 overs. As we believe, if you stay there for 50 overs, get 4 runs per over, you get 200. Any bad ball, you get a plus 50. So you already have a 250 target. And that target, they need to be, for tomorrow's game for Sir Ali and Ruaraka, I believe the target is at around 270 and just not 250s. That is only the way that Sir Ali can make this game.
We have a little bit of time left, so we can look at Kachileva versus Gymkhana. Raj, your squad has remained largely unchanged since the season began. Gymkhana have had many additions, subtractions. I think they're trying to give their kids in the academy some playtime. But this week they're missing Lucas. I'm not sure whether Kavi is well enough to play. He was injured last weekend. I'm hoping Karan will come back. He didn't play last weekend because he was unwell. Their main headache is really to look for someone to replace Lucas. And even from their B-side kids who've been performing, I don't think they'll find someone who's as good enough. Lucas is the only bowler who's given them a half a century in the league, aside from Wesonga. Their top order doesn't look bad. Hash looks here and there, but when he scores good. Kavi, since the half century at Jaffrey's, hasn't given much to the team either. Basically, their top order is the one that's lacking. Most of their runs have been coming from the middle to the bottom, except since they introduced Barbaria to the side. He gave them a couple of 30s in the last 2 matches they played. Raj, do you think your team has what it takes to beat Gymkhana without Lucas?
I believe every team has the aspects to beat each and every one, and they go to the ground on a Sunday just in a motto of winning. No one goes on a Sunday there to just play your game and lose. Everyone is doing their best to give in and to win. As I mentioned about Kachileva, we have got 3 youngsters who've also been in the panels for the under-19s. And they've been quite brilliant. If you look at Dash Panchani, who's been playing there, he's even scored 50 last week. Sumit Halai has been brilliant with his bowling. And with the aspects of like a godfather as Lamek, the kids are doing very well. I believe that Kachileva and with the way that Gymkhana are going to miss out Lucas and as well as Dominic, I believe, is not around. So
yes,
that is going to affect the middle order batting for Gymkhana. And what I can say about Kachileva for now is that the spinners for now have still not done their job. Even on a spinning wicket, they're not able to control, and that needs to change. However, we have a consistent team throughout, but of a consistency of just the team has not got the consistency in playing. You might find on a one good day, someone is doing well, the next day is not doing well. And for cricket, if you have a bad season, you have a bad season. You can only change it if you work hard. What is happening for Kachileva is one player plays well one Sunday, the other player doesn't play well the other Sunday, so they don't have someone to back up. They rely on each and every one. So if the top order is not doing anything, they'll rely on the low order, on the middle order. If the middle order is not doing anything, they'll rely on the low order. Same for the bowling. And I believe, however, the bowling has been quite well, except for a few more games that we've been chasing around 300 plus. But in terms of that, we've tried and said the boys need to play there for 50 overs. And the way Gymkhana has been right now, even Gymkhana have struggling, and we are almost we're together in this points table. So the 4 points for tomorrow are very crucial for both the teams, and to show that what they can do when both teams have new players, they have youngsters. So it's going to be a good game.
All right, Raj. Dan, briefly, Obuya versus Ngara. Ngara without Nikul Patel, he'll be away for 5 weeks. And then they're also without their main player with the ball and with the bats, Tanzil Sheikh. It's a good contest. Obuya also are without David and Steve. What do you think?
Of the two teams, the team that has been hit hard by the absence of players is definitely Ngara. Reason being, Ngara have lost their main bowler. A bowler has performed throughout the season. So it's going to be a tough match for them. And for Obuya, Steve Omogo hasn't done something that anything that will say that has really made a difference for their team's performance in the few matches they have played. He's an okay player. Whatever he's scoring, I'll say he's an okay batsman. So his absence won't be felt as much. David, yeah, he has been getting those few runs, but they still have a team that will do the work for them. Collins is available. And the youngsters that have been having in the team are available. So if they're going to play the way they played on Sunday,